Roll call, Mr. Manning.
Mr. Rich,
Present.
Mr. Venable,
Present.
Ms. Gilbert,
Present.
Mr. Sis, and the chairman is present.
We'll have our prayer by Mr. Porter and then our pledge by Mr. Venable.
Lord God, our Father in heaven, we are blessed. We're blessed every day. We're so thankful to live in this county. We're thankful for the natural beauty that we have that surrounds us every day. We're also thankful for the people of this county. Thankful for those that are in public service in whatever manner, an elected position or appointed position. God, we're thankful for them and for the families and their choice to serve the people of this county. We pray you'll watch over us, watch over this nation, be with our men and women in the armed services as they are protecting us and they're in harm's way. So we pray for them and their families each and every day. We pray you watch over us and guide us every day. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll approve the agenda of the meeting, January 13, 2020.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed. We have no awards or presentations and no one, well, we have one, Mr. Rick Roden, is going to speak for us today about Lake Gunnersville.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let me give you all a copy of these before we get started.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, sir.
And then y'all can, take one and pass them if there is one thing person can have one. Mr. Chairman, thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to come and, update you. I'm not coming to ask for anything. I'm not coming to ask for money, so, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I am coming to give an update on something that is very, very important that y'all need to know about, and that is, my Lake Gunnersville. Give you a little bit of history, which, by the way, let me let you know that Lauren Pelto is with me today. Most of you know Lauren. She's, the program director in governmental affairs, person with TDA. Anything you wanna say, Lauren?
Just glad to be here. You'll hear from Rick kind of what the program looks like, but we're gonna continue treating the public areas as TDA has always done, and waterways for navigation, and we're on the marketing team with them. We're enjoying being a partner with you guys.
Yeah.
And helping out.
It's good to have you.
We're partnering with TDA on this, and, it's very, very important that we continue to work together. Let me give you a quick history of what got us to where we're at. Back, if y'all remember, back in, I don't know, this may be late eighties, early nineties, they were treating the lake and, they were trying different things. They even tried things like, grass carp and all kind of stuff. They were supposed to be sterile and weren't. And anyway, it wound up, at one particular time, they almost eradicated all the, vegetation in Lake Gunnersville, and it just about killed our fishing industry. So about the mid-nineties, mid to late nineties, we formed a group called the Lake Gunnersville Stakeholders Group. I was with the original group that formed that, and the whole purpose of that was to work with TDA and to manage the aquatic weeds. And it's important to manage them because we don't want to eradicate them. Our fishing industry in Jackson County and Marshall County is a hundreds of millions of dollars industry. We don't want to eradicate it. We want to manage it. We do have some invasive aquatic weeds, aquatic vegetation, and we wanted to get rid of the invasive but manage what is there. Fantastic plan. It's a model plan that was very, very successful for many, many years, where we worked with TVA, and we would each year even take a map and mark on the map where we wanted sprayed, where we didn't. If there was nothing there, no housing, no parks, no anything, leave it alone and let the fishermen fish it. Fantastic program that worked for many, many years. Well, after several years, TVA got to a point where they were going to be unable to continue to fund that at a full amount. That amount that they were spending was about $1 million a year. And so they got to a point where it was going to be too expensive because the vegetation is spreading under the Tennessee River. Lake Gunnersville is a big lake, 69,000 acres, but Kentucky Lake dwarfs us. If they wind up with a weed problem up there, it's probably gonna be just way too expensive to continue to do it like they were doing it in Lake Gunnersville. So they informed us that they would continue to spray it for a certain amount of time, and then it would stop. on the private, what they call the private part, private or commercial. They will continue to spray and manage the public access, where you give access lanes, y'all been on the river, where you have access lanes to get one part to another through the peak months of the vegetation. All the public parks, public grounds, continue to do that, and they are still going to continue to do that. Well, what happened was, of course, we kind of fought it a little bit. We felt like it was their responsibility, but what happened was when they did quit spraying, y'all remember a few years ago, they quit spraying the private part. And we didn't have the money to spray it ourselves, neither Jackson nor Marshall County did, so therefore, the weeds just got out of control. Y'all remember Roseberry? I mean, it just, people couldn't even get inside there to get gas.
Yeah.
So we went back and we begged, and I worked through Joe Rich, who was chairman of the board at the time, to get TVA back at the table and let's discuss this. They were great to come back and discuss, so we came up with a plan that they would start back full spraying for the first year, cut it a third the next year, a third the next year, and a third the next year. Finally, after 3 years, which is where we're at right now, the spraying would cease again, and we would have to take it over. So we have put together a group to be able to come up with the funding, to be able to, we gotta come up somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000 a year to make up for the private part that TVA is no longer gonna be able to spray. They'll continue to spray the other, they'll continue to work with us, they're good partners with us, but we gotta come up with $400,000 to $500,000 a year to be able to make up that difference. So we formed an organization called My Lake Gunnersville. Now, I and Matt Arnold, if y'all know Matt Arnold, he's the president and CEO of the Marshall County Economic Development Council, somehow drew the short straws and wound up co-chairing this. Just what we needed to add more to my plate, his plate, but he has been very, very good to work with. We've got a very good committee, and so I wanted to catch y'all up on where we're at and what we're expecting in the future. When we formed My Lake Gunnersville, the first thing that we did is we had to put together, why are we forming this? And this is the most, if y'all don't catch anything else I say, remember this. This is why we have My Lake Gunnersville, why it's important. Number one, the foundation of our campaign is being focused on preserving and protecting our water quality. That's first and foremost. Now, we're gonna do this, there's four major things that we're doing. Managing the aquatic plants in private and commercial areas where TVA no longer will manage in 2020, starting this year, they're no longer gonna manage the private and commercial, so we gotta take over managing that. Partnering with experts to prevent potential threats. How many people have heard of Asian carp? Let me tell you, if Asian carp get in our lake, we've lost our lake. Simple as that. Ask Kentucky Lake. It's now in Kentucky Lake, it's destroyed their fishing industry. They are the most, they're terrible. If y'all seen, you hadn't seen the videos, pull up a video on YouTube and see a boat going down the river and getting knocked in the head by 15, 20-pound fish. And I mean, they're very, very dangerous, they're very aggressive, and we've got to, they're not in our lake now, but we've got to prevent them from getting in our lake. So that's number two. Number three is keeping the reservoir free of litter. Very, very important, but that's gonna affect our water quality. And four, preventive measures to reduce erosion on the islands caused by cormorants. Y'all been out on the lake and seen an island that's inhabited by cormorants? It's terrible, and they will destroy an island. So that's our four things that we're gonna do. So what we did, very first thing, is we hired a company called Red Sage Communications. They're out of Decatur, and that's to develop public awareness and conservation campaign that illustrates the importance of the overall water quality on Lake Gunnersville. We developed a campaign logo, which you'll see on your card there, a campaign logo for My Lake Gunnersville. And the whole purpose of this is to be known out in the community so people know who we are. We developed a regional award-winning website with Red Sage. It explains our mission, the whole purpose of the campaign, invites others to join us. We won an award already with the Regional Economic Development Conference, the SDCA, or the SEDC. We developed printed material, which you have part of it, and promotional products with Red Sage to try to bring awareness to our efforts and sharing best practices following the water. We've even developed things where we give out at bass tournaments that teaches the fishermen, you know, if you go to another lake, before you come back to our lake, wash your boat. That's how we got the aquatic weeds to begin with, is other boats coming into the area and bringing the weeds with them if they were on another lake. We developed a pitch deck presentation to share with potential sponsors and donors. We've got a great ongoing social media strategy aimed at spreading the message of our campaign to our followers, the importance of preserving Lake Gunnersville as an economic driver and a recreation spot. We already have grown our Facebook page from 0 followers to 1,000 in 6 months. We generated a team of influencers to share our message on social media. We've got on board, and a lot of times people think that when the things that we want to do, if we want to manage the weeds, we don't have the fishermen on our side. Yes, we do. We've actually got professional angler and local business owner Boyd Duckett, Major League Fishing angler Chris Lane. Both of them are Bassmaster winners. They're on board with everything we're doing. So we've got the fishermen on board. We've got the homeowners on board. And we'll never make everybody 100% happy. If we can keep everybody 80% happy, we've done a good job. We've generated significant buzz with 6 local and statewide media outlets. We've co-sponsored a lake cleanup day with Keep the Tennessee River Beautiful and Keep Gunnersville Beautiful in October. We've raised over $600 just in the month of December through a community event. We're had tables set up at HydroFest, trying to get word out what we're doing. And the whole purpose is to get everybody educated on the importance of protecting our lake. Some of you probably have seen Keep Tahoe Blue out in Lake Tahoe. It's a very similar campaign to what they're doing, trying to make sure that they preserve Lake Tahoe. We want to preserve Lake Gunnersville. Now, our future marketing plans for this year, we're going to host lots of community events and fundraising nights in both Jackson and Marshall County. We're going to host and co-sponsor more lake cleanups, so hopefully we'll be able to, maybe what you started, we'll be able to make that part of this campaign, make it bigger and better. We're going to try to develop a more robust paid digital advertising strategy on social media, more media coverage on all the things that we're doing both local and statewide, an ongoing social media strategy aimed at spreading the message of our campaign to our followers, and make them realize the importance. Let me tell you, our #1 economic driver in Jackson and Marshall County is that lake. And if we lose that lake, we've lost hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, so we cannot lose our lake. We want to make sure that we don't do that. We'll do an overall education through marketing of why supporting and donating to the My Lake Gunnersville campaign is so important. So right now, where we're at, we're looking at several different ways that we're going to have to raise $400,000 to $500,000. Again, I'm not here to ask for money. But the ways that we're looking at that, we're looking at working, we've already started talking to a lot of our water authorities, talking about ways that they can help us raise these dollars. We're going to work with our industries. There's lots of industries on Lake Gunnersville that draw water out of the lake. So we're going to try to work with them. We're looking at every way that we can think of to come up with a robust campaign to be able to raise these dollars. We're going to look at some legislative ways that we can raise the dollars on a statewide level. But the most important thing we've got to do, we've got to make up for that $400,000 to $500,000 annually to where we can make sure that we save our lake. We cannot, the water quality, when you let it go completely, and even the fishermen will tell you, they don't want the aquatic vegetation to run wild. They want it managed.
Right.
We let it run wild, we lose our water quality, we lose our fishing industry, and we've lost our lake. So that's kind of where we're at. The county commission needs to know what we're doing and the importance of what we're doing, because that lake is the #1 economic driver we have for our 2 counties. We're working very, very close with Marshall County. It's been very important that we cross those county lines and those city limits, and we work together. So we're going to do the same presentation down at the Marshall County Commission here in a month or so, and we're going to try to keep our elected officials and everybody else educated on what My Lake Gunnersville is all about. Any questions? Thank y'all for your partnership, and we will keep you up to date on what we're doing as we continue to move forward with My Lake Gunnersville. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Appreciate you, Rick. You're doing a great job, sir.
She'd come next week when we were at
Oh, I know, yeah. Next, move on to old business. Motion to approve the minutes from the following meetings and work sessions and budget hearings. Is August 26, 2019, September 3rd, 16th, 20th, 23rd, 25th, and 30th of 2019. October 7th through the 28th, 2019, and November the 4th, 2019.
I'll make a motion to combine and accept all of these.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to combine all of them. All in favor say aye. All opposed. On to new business. First up, we got a motion to approve and sign a resolution regarding updated security plan. And we had a security meeting back last year. Some different topics were discussed. We got with Judge Holt she sent the plan to, DLC, ALC, got their blessing, sent it back. So that's what you got in front of you that I'd sent out. Basically, we just need to approve this new plan. And then you have to send it again once we approve it, correct?
The final plan, approved by the commission,
Okay,
will be sent to the administrative office of the court.
okay, thank you. Has anybody got any questions for me or Judge Hope?
No, I make a motion that we, accept this and move forward.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Carried. Next be a motion to approve and sign a resolution naming Paul Smith as the safety coordinator.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Next be a motion to select and sign a resolution to give to the legislators. Mr. Venable?
Yeah, I think we've sent 2 resolutions, requesting something to help us with our financial issue, for the upcoming legislative, session. This is just 2 more ideals that I worked on. These are exactly the same except for the last paragraph. I would like to pass and send both of them over there, if the commission doesn't have any, objections to it. And I will make the motion to send both of these if anybody has any questions.
And I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Next be a motion to approve extending the county parks cleaning contract for 6 months. Mr. Barnes had come last week. The cleaning folks out there has been doing a good job, so he wanted to go ahead and extend their contract for 6 months. They'd be under the same rate.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a
It's the same
second.
lady, right? It's,
Yes.
okay.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Next be a motion to approve and sign resolution regarding the ACCA liability self-insurance fund.
Make that motion.
Got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Last for new business, be a motion to approve the preliminary engineering and construction agreement for the ERPR project on County Road 17.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Next be reports from staff. Mr. Manning, do you have anything?
No, sir, nothing today.
Mr. Campbell? Mr. Porter?
I don't have anything.
Mr. Barnes? Mr. Dash? Judge Hope? All right.
I would like to say thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, next be comments from the commission. Mr. Rich?
I'd just like to just ask everyone to have the Holcomb family in their prayers as little RJ has got some rough times ahead, but hopefully everything will go okay. Just keep his family, the Holcomb family in their prayers, and also the ones that lost their lives over the last weekend with the tornadoes and everything. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Mr. Venable?
Add Mr. Sis to that prayer list. He lost his, sister-in-law, I think it was today. That's all I got.
Ms. Gilbert?
Just thank Mr. Campbell and his crew for coming out in the weather. I'm sure y'all were out quite a bit over the weekend, and appreciate it as always. Thank the guys for us.
All right. If nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Get a second.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Adjourn.